move it till I say, ow! Okay, it's on my foot. Now don't.
Okay.
Ow! SpongeBob, I told you not to move it till I said.
While watching the video, did you feel in pain, discomfort, sad, worried, nostalgic? Well, all of those feelings you felt right now can be explained by our short video about the nervous system. What is the nervous system? The nervous system is our body's command center. It originates from our brain, and it controls our thoughts, movements, and is responsible for our response to the world around us. The nervous system includes the brain, spinal cord, and a complex network of nerves. This system sends messages back and forth between the brain and the body. What are the parts of the nervous system? Well, the nervous system can be divided into two major subdivisions, mainly the central nervous system, CNS, and the peripheral nervous system, PNS. The CNS is comprised of the brain and the spinal cord. The PNS connects to the CNS to the rest of the body. The central nervous system, or CNS, is the body's processing center. The brain controls most of the functions of the body, including awareness, movement, thinking, speech, and the five senses of seeing, hearing, feeling, tasting, and smelling. The nervous system is made up of basic units called neurons. The neurons are arranged in networks that carry electrical or chemical messages to and from the brain. So, what is the brain? Well, the brain is made up of different parts. This includes the cerebrum, cerebellum, and the brainstem. The cerebrum is the largest part of the brain. It controls intelligence, memory, personality, emotion, speech, and ability to feel and move. It is divided into the left and right hemispheres, linked by a band of nerve fibers in the center of the brain called the corpus callosum. Each hemisphere is divided into 4 lobes or sections, which are all connected. The frontal lobes controls movements, speech, and some of the functions of the mind like behavior, mood, memory, and organization. The parietal lobes play an important part in taste, touch, temperature, and pain, and also in the understanding of numbers, awareness of the body, and feeling of space. The occipital lobes are vital for being able to see clearly. Lastly, the temporal lobes play an important part in memory, hearing, speech, and language. The cerebellum is located at the back of the brain. It is responsible for our movement related to motor skills, balance, posture, and our body's coordination. Brainstem includes midbrain, pons, and medulla oblongata. It controls your body's involuntary actions, like breathing, heart rate, and blood pressure. The second part of the central nervous system is the spinal cord. The spinal cord runs from the brain down through the back. It contains thread-like nerves that branch out to every organ and body part. We introduced the peripheral nervous system, or the PNS. We will talk about the structure of the PNS, including its major subdivisions. In addition, we'll cover how its sensory and motor functions work together in a cyclical form to create the reflex arc. In the human body, there are 31 pairs of nerves that branch from the spinal cord and 12 pairs that emerge from the brain. Collectively, these 43 nerve pairs are considered separate from the brain and spinal cord, and therefore, they form the base structure of the peripheral nervous system. The peripheral nervous system is made up of 2 types of neurons: sensory neurons, also known as afferent neurons, and motor neurons, also known as efferent neurons. As their name suggests, sensory neurons detect various sensations, such as pain and heat, These neurons transmit messages toward the central nervous system in order to be interpreted by either the spinal cord or by the brain. Motor neurons do the opposite. They transmit messages away from the central nervous system to other areas of the body. This is stimulate effectors such as the skin, sense organs, or muscles to perform a function or reflex. Note that all 43 pairs of nerves in the PNS perform either sensory, motor, or mixed functions. This neurological circuit of information that includes sensory detection, interpretation of sensory input, and a resulting motor output is called the reflex arc. As sensory information comes in, it passes through ganglia, which are collections of sensory neurons, soma. The ganglia sends these signals into the dorsal section of the spine, where the information gets processed. After the CNS processes this information, they get sent out from the ventral section of the spine via the motor neurons. The motor neurons then carry the processed response towards the effectors. The peripheral nervous system also has two separate divisions, based on voluntary and involuntary responses or reflexes. Voluntary responses are consciously controlled, whereas involuntary responses are unconsciously controlled. The somatic nervous system is the PNS division that controls voluntary responses. It is also responsible for relaying sensory and motor information between the outside environment and the CNS. This is due to the fact that most somatic nerves innervate outer sections of the body, such as the skin and skeletal muscles. Hence, any muscle movement or voluntary motor output uses the somatic nervous system. The autonomic nervous system is the peripheral nervous system division that handles involuntary movement. It generally innervates our internal organs, and it controls the vital functions that keep us alive. Most importantly, it controls our heart rate, it controls our respiration, and it controls our digestion. All of these and many other internal processes happen without our conscious control due to the autonomic division. Lastly, there are two subdivisions of the autonomic nervous system, the sympathetic nervous system and the parasympathetic nervous system. Each of these subdivisions perform opposite functions to maintain an internal balance. The sympathetic nervous system is what is called our fight or flight response system, that when stimulated causes general alertness and excitement. It's the body's way of responding to a perceived threat. The parasympathetic nervous system is the opposite. It's our body's rest and digest response system. Basically, this means that our parasympathetic response generally restores the body to a calm or restful state. This concludes our discussion on the peripheral nervous system.